Hello, welcome to my channel. Welcome to all of Ellie. If this is the first time you're coming to my channel, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber or a returning watcher of this channel, if you've watched my video previously, I mean to say, definitely subscribe if you like this video or if it has been educative in one way or the other. I would really appreciate it. Give it a thumbs up if you like it, and don't forget to share so it will benefit somebody else. But without further ado, let's get into this video. You would already have known what I'm talking about today, as you might have seen on the thumbnail on this video. So it's basically about the questions that people ask regarding IHS refund. I did a video previously about IHS refund and how to apply for it, and I did get a few questions on there. So I thought, and it's one of my ranking videos actually on this channel, on this very tiny channel. So I felt like I should address some of the questions and even more questions that I've come across that people ask in regards to the IHS refund. If you have more questions that I have not addressed on this video, definitely leave it in the comment section below. But here are the questions that I have, right? The first one is, can I claim the IHS refund for myself if I am the main applicant and I am also the dependent? What that means is that if you were the one who qualifies to apply for the refund and you were a dependent, if you can claim a refund for the whole family. So according to the guideline, you're not supposed to be able to claim the refund for the whole family if you are a dependent. However, I've seen some situations where the dependent would also apply, would actually apply for the whole family, and the whole family would get the refund. So it just depends. I suppose you can also just try your luck, or just do it to see if you would be accepted or not. Because I mean, if the others are not accepted for a refund, you might be accepted, you might be eligible. One question that comes up quite regularly is, why has my application been rejected? So your application can be rejected for a couple of reasons. It might be your payslip. It might be your payslip is not showing the contracted hours of employment. It might be that you've not submitted all of your payslip. Basically, why applications have been rejected is because you've not proven that you were entitled to it. So I'll just advise you, if you were applying from the middle of 1 month to the middle of the 6th month, that would be 7 payslips to be submitted. And also, if you were applying from the 1st of the month to the end of the month, so you were applying, say for instance, you were applying from the 1st of January to the end of June, because it is the end of June and most payslip will show maybe up until the 24th or 27th of the end of the month, they would advise you that your application has been rejected because you have not submitted payslip that covers you up until the end of June. So in that instance, you need to submit July's payslip to cover you for the end of June. Another reason is that your payslip does not show the hours, because for them to be able to calculate if you've worked more than 16 hours per week, or you've worked 16 hours per week, or you've worked for 6 months on average 16 hours per week, your payslip has to have the hours that you have worked. In that instance, because some payslip will not show the hours that you've worked, you need to include your contract of employment. All right, so include your contract of employment, because that will show that, oh, this person has been contracted to work maybe 37 hours per week, or 25 hours per week, or whatever, 45 hours per week, or whatever hour per week. Another common IHS refund question is, what day should I start my application? You should start your application from when you know that you're entitled for the refund. So it's basically looking at the guideline again. I've made a video on what entitles you for a refund. As long as you fulfill that requirement, start from when you fulfilled the requirement for the next 6 months. So some people might be changing visa, for instance. If your visa has expired and you just renewed your visa and you have a new visa, it means that your old one is invalid and you cannot apply for the refund for that one that is invalid. So you need to apply for the present one that you've just renewed. You need to count 6 months from when you paid for the IHS for that one that you just renewed. 6 months from when you made the payment, apply from that date. Or, the scheme started March 2020. So if you by now you have not applied for a refund and you fulfilled the requirement since March 2020 and you have a valid visa at the moment that has not expired since March 2020, you can apply from the 1st of April 2020 up until now, but you need to make duplicate applications 6 months at a time. So that's the date. If you have any more questions regarding when you can start an application, if you tell me the scenario below, I might be able to advise you when you should start it. Another question in regards to applying for the immigration health surcharge that people would ask is in regards to, again, the application being rejected because of their pay slip. So in this regard, if your application is being rejected because of your pay slip, and it is because of this reason, the reason being sometimes you work on a weekly basis, so you get paid on a weekly basis and you get your pay slip on a weekly basis. If that was the situation, if you had multiple pay slips to submit, I think sometimes you might have about 24 to 26 pay slips to submit in the claim periods that you're trying to apply for. So when you're trying to submit it, sometimes the organization that you're applying to is not getting the whole of the pay slips that you're submitting, then you might need to try this. So basically what you can do is that you can download, print out and fill in a form and send it to them with your payslip, all of your payslip. So you possibly need to call the organization and tell them, this is what you want to do. You want to apply by post because you've applied numerous times and your application keep getting rejected because they're not receiving the pay slip. So that's what you can do. Another common question in regards to applying for your immigration health surcharge is if you can amend your bank details. With regards to applying for visas and going to live especially in the UK, some people use third-party accounts. This is why the question is so common. In regards to that, no, you cannot amend your bank details. You need to apply and the payments will be made into the original account that it was made from. If peradventure it was your case that the payment was rejected, then the UK Visa Immigration would then email you to say provide us with new bank details because the payment we tried to make was rejected or it did not go through. Provide us with your bank details so we can pay it to you direct, so we can pay to the new account. In that instance, yes, then you can supply your bank details. But in the first instance, the payment must first of all go into the account that it was paid from. That's the process. That's the guideline. It does not change. What you can do in this regards, if you do not know, if you do not have access to the third-party account, obviously, what you can do is you can wait 6 weeks from when you get your successful email. Give it 6 weeks and call the organization to check the bank details that the payment was made to, so you can be able to verify with the third party that this payment was made, this amount was made into these details. This is the ARN number for the payment. Another question is, can I apply for more than 6 months or less than 6 months? No, you cannot apply for more than 6 months and you cannot apply for less than 6 months. It must be 6 months at a time. If you think that you fulfill the requirement, like I mentioned previously, if since after the 31st of March 2020 you have not applied and you think that you fulfill the requirement all this while, you can make duplicate applications, but it has to be 6 months at a time. So for instance, you can make application from April, May, June, July, August, September. So 1st of April to the end of September, that will be one application. You can start again from the 1st of October, November, December, January, February, March. That will be another 6 months. You can make duplicate applications like that, but it must be 6 months at a time and you must submit the pay slips for those periods that you think that you've worked or you fulfilled the requirement. All right. Also, for those people whose visa, maybe you have like 6 months on it, because you will need extra 1 month to apply for the immigration health surcharge. So if your visa was 6 months exactly, you might not still be able to get the refund. You can definitely try to apply, but you might not get it. You might have a situation or a rejection reason where they'll say you don't have enough time on your visa remaining to claim the refund, but you can certainly try. So for instance, if your visa was remaining 5 months on it, you will not be able to claim the refund because it's 5 months, it's not 6 months. It must be 6 months at a time. not less, no more, 6 months. The last but not the least question that people would ask in regards to applying for your immigration health surcharge is, which payslip should I submit? This, I think, is a quite obvious question, but obviously some people might still have a problem with it. But basically, you should submit payslips for the claim period, for the period that you're applying for. So if you were applying from the 1st of January again to the end of June, you should supply payslip for January, February, March, April, May, June. And I would also advise you, just to be on the safe side, to submit the payslip for July. That July payslip will cover you for the end of June, so that will be 7 payslip altogether that you need to supply. If you're being paid monthly payment, if you started towards the end of the month or even in the middle of the month, sometimes you might not get the payslip for the first month. In that instance, what I'd advise you to do is just to start from the 1st of the other month, so that if you don't get, for instance, in this situation, the January payslip, assuming it started on the 20th of January, if you don't get the payslip for January, then you will not be penalized the same, because sometimes what they would then do is that they will say, you've not submitted payslip for January, this application has been rejected for that reason. So it's just to be on the safe side, submit the payslip and start your application from the 1st of February or from the 1st of the next month. Starting from then up until the next 6 months, you need to always submit the payslip for the period to cover you that you're claiming for. Was that right? Sounded right. But yeah, so this is all the questions that I have in regards to applying for the immigration health surcharge refund. If you have any other questions, or if there was anything that I missed out, any other thing, even if you want to explain more, because we're all learning this process, you can definitely drop your comments below, or you can definitely ask your questions below, and I will try to come back to you. If you've watched up until this point, thank you very much, and thank you for all those who have continually come to my channel to watch the video that I have to dish out. I really do appreciate, and I am really, really grateful. So till I come your way next time, it's bye from me. Take care, stay safe, and be good.